'Twas the last episode of the season when all through the houses there was plugging in of microphones and the clicking of mouses.
Frantically updating notes and outlines as Google reminders begin to chime, in the hopes that we will actually get this episode released on time.
It's been a heck of a year as our podcast evolves. We're so glad you've joined us on this adventure, talking about the team we all love.
And now we've reached the final episode in a season that has been monumental. And so we're happy to bring you AMOrephillyunion, the holiday special. Welcome to AMOrephillyunion, the podcast where we swear to talk about the Philly Union, the whole Philly Union, and nothing but the Philly Union, with as few digressions as possible. We are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm C.
And I'm E.
And we've reached the end of our season. Congrats to both of you.
We did it. We did it. Honestly, I'm not surprised that we got here, but it's like I just never imagined we'd get here. And here we are.
So before we get into the housekeeping and everything, has it been worth it to you guys? Has this been, a worthwhile experiment running a podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, considering we decided to do this 6 days before the season started, was it?
Yeah.
For the longest season ever?
Yeah. I mean, there was that. It was a little sloggy at times, but it definitely made me pay attention more. And I like the opportunity to hang out with you guys this way. Yeah. So
you don't have to
appreciate that. Well, as long as the check clears. No, but it's true. So
yeah, I agree. I enjoyed it as well, having that chance to talk, just an hour or so each week about the union has been made the season more enjoyable. Obviously, getting a chance to rant from time to time lets you lance the boil
once or twice,
share the pain and multiply that. What's that? Pain shared is a pain divided. The joy shared is a joy multiplied.
That's right.
And, I felt that this has been a nice way to get a little more personal, at least among the three of us, and hopefully our listeners have, have felt it similar. How about you, E?
Yeah, there's definitely more ownership, I feel like, with respect to our season, as the union and all that. Like, it's kind of like the union has become that much more our team, since we're actually publicly talking about them, caring about them. So it feels that much more. They're that much more hours now, and it's just been fun. Just sitting down talking with you guys every week, and then just all the details and all the production that goes into putting this out every week. It's been
I will say it was
experience.
really interesting when we're getting this started. It's like figuring out how to buy a website domain, and how do we do podcast hosting, and then what microphones work best for us, and where how do we record this? Thank goodness for Zoom.
Yeah, thank you.
And clearly we're still figuring a lot out. I mean, there are weeks our levels are off, and I got a new mic. I'm still getting used to it. So, there's still room to grow for sure. But yeah.
And it has been fun too. And I guess we are kind of jumping the gun a little bit here, but it's been fun, like just reaching out and being in contact with the larger public.
We got retweeted by Union Hulk. How awesome is that?
We did.
Yeah. Sons of Ben liked something we said.
Oh, multiple times.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just being part of the larger union community. But sorry, go ahead, Chrissy.
No, I was making a joke. You're good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's been a fun season. As far as podcast numbers go, I know we haven't been stellar, but we did have over 1,200 downloads this season. What was the final number, E?
Well, as of today, it's 1,236. And the way I like to think of it is that's 1,236 more downloads and listenings than we had last year, because we didn't even exist last year.
It's infinitely more if you use multiplying.
Right.
Exactly. And I think the cool thing too is just like I summed up just some basic statistics here. So one area I was a little surprised it wasn't more is that we've only been downloaded in 22 states. I thought it was going to be more than that. So we have
to drive around the states and download our
podcast. I got to run over to West Virginia real quick. Gives us a target now for next season to try to improve those numbers. But the one thing that was really cool to see, though, is we've been downloaded in 14 other countries.
That's cool.
Would we started this? If you had told me we would have gotten one international download, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But the fact that we've been downloaded in 14 other countries is pretty cool. And in terms of continents, I think the only continents we didn't get downloads in was Africa and I guess arguably Asia. When I want to count, I mean, I guess Australia's its own continent, of course, but we
got Antarctica.
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't get Antarctica. Okay, so all right, that's three. But hey, that's goals for next season.
That's right.
We'll contact a weather station down there. We're like, hey, would you guys just download one episode for us?
It's okay if you don't listen to the whole thing. Yeah. Just download it. Just play it from the Podbean.
Yeah. We'll give a shout out to research station Zebra down there.
If you think I won't email them, you're wrong.
Well, that's the other thing about this whole process, right? It's just the power of just reaching out to somebody and just asking, more often than not, people, they will reply, and maybe it doesn't go anywhere or whatever, but when you get to throw in that the proverbial SIG file, like, well, I'm on this podcast, like, oh, well, okay. It's like having press credentials or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, with that 1,200 downloads, we did hit our target for the Help Us Help the U challenge. And we were able to make a nice little donation for the Union Foundation. And it was nice to get that letter of recognition and a couple of other emails from them, which was cool.
It's cool. Really cool.
Yeah. So, we'll see what we can do next year to either, do something else to support the Union Foundation or something else in this area. So if anybody has ideas, we're willing to borrow and steal them.
Absolutely. And we do have a couple ideas of our own. We're going to, think about them over the coming break here and hopefully try to, make things a little bit more interesting next season. But we'll keep you guys posted.
And before we take that break, we should at least discuss quickly the MLS Cup final, which did happen this past weekend. The Crew took on LAFC in Columbus and were victorious. 2-1 was the final.
Thank God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. I saw it by accident. I actually did mean to watch. I couldn't watch it live.
Too painful.
No, I actually was just busy. I just couldn't watch it live, and I meant to watch it and not have it spoiled, but it was spoiled. But it was delightfully spoiled. So
we were busy running around this weekend getting stuff done. I was still getting over being sick, and so it's like, oh yeah, that's right. There was a MLS Cup final today. I guess we should look up how it went.
So I didn't watch it live. I did watch the replay, the whole game. Nate actually had a soccer indoor game that I was coaching, so I wasn't able to watch it live. One frustration just with Apple TV. They didn't give up the score, but it was very clear from the cuts, from the background that the Crew won as they're standing there with the cup in their hands and confetti raining down on top of them. It's like, okay, well, I guess I know the result.
Get a grip, for God's sake.
I would say, though, that at least, seeing that, if it had been LA standing there with the cup, I would have been like, okay, I'll just watch the recap, maybe.
Yeah.
This way, I was like, all right, I want to see how the crew do in this game. And I thought it was very entertaining soccer. Crew were all over LAFC, especially in that first half. I was glad that they got that second goal because once again, I felt like the handball, while the right call, once it just was like, it was off his chest and off his arm. And it's like, he's not trying to play the ball with the hand, but it's according to the letters of the law, that's a handball. So
Yeah.
they got that. So I was glad that they got the second goal to kind of put them up by 2. And at least that way was, they got a goal, not from a handball, which was I was grateful for.
As Scoops often says, like, she's not anti-penalty, but she says that if someone wins on that, it feels
a little
like
cheap.
like cheating. That was her exact
Yeah.
quote. And I mean, she doesn't truly mean cheating, but at least you get a legitimate goal in there.
And let's be clear, that goal that they scored was pretty. That Yaya Boa was made that run off the left wing, and their defender split like 6 defenders with one deep pass along the ground. It wasn't even a bomb. It was just, I mean, he made Yaboa made that beautiful run and then finished with the outside of the left foot past the keeper.
That pass was sublime. That pass was Zidane-esque.
Yeah, it was really a nice goal.
Yeah.
And then of course LA did get one in the second half. Bouanga.
He finds a way.
Yeah, he can't. He's been a power in the MLS Cup playoffs. So, but not enough for LAFC to get it to overtime or to penalty kicks. So,
and I was grateful for that it didn't go to extra time, and it definitely didn't go to PKs. I'm glad they were able to resolve this matchup in regular play. That's a satisfactory ending for me.
And then the fans got to celebrate with the with the team. That was pretty awesome watching that.
It's always good to see the home team win it.
And then of course Don Garber doing the presentation, and I thought that was funny when Andrew Wiebe introduced Don Garber, and you could just hear the boos raining down from the I mean, that's got to be tough for Garber sometimes.
Yeah.
But, that kind of made me smile.
Yeah. I think we talked about that in the last episode about the Cincinnati.
The fact that Garber was in LA instead of Ohio.
Yeah, he didn't go to the flyover area. He went to the West Coast. It's like, all right, well,
I'm sure there's plenty. There's an argument for why he was there, but at the same point, I was glad to. I kind of found it amusing that the Crew fans let him hear it a little bit. But yeah, it was very clear that those players were enjoying the moment. And man, Nagbe, I think that was his 4th MLS Cup that he's won.
4th? All right,
with 3 different teams.
Man, yeah, that guy, he's just this quiet little engine in the background, in the sense of he's just has all these accolades to his name, but when you think MLS and even U.S. national team, he doesn't necessarily pop to the forefront of your mind, but the dude has chops. And he's got this, from what you read about him, he's got a very humble personality, which is not as common as it should be these days. So I was very happy for him.
I'm sorry. Did you hear the quote from Diego Valeri?
Yeah, go ahead and share that. That's a good quote.
He apparently said, "If I ever have grandchildren and they ask about soccer in the United States, I will tell them that I played with Darlington Nagbe."
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's Diego Valeri. That guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer as far as MLS goes. And, it was neat. And the other one of the other interesting players that was on the field for the Crew was Aiden Morris,
right?
Who was the youngest player to play to start in an MLS Cup final since Landon Donovan.
Really?
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, and I just remember seeing one of the social media feeds about the game. There was either a video or a picture. Apparently, like an hour and a half after the presentation, there's everybody's out of the stadium. The teams are all in the locker room, and Aiden Morris just walks back out onto the field, out into the very center of it. It's just a picture of this kid, wide angle picture of him standing in the middle of the mid circle, just staring around. And there's confetti's laying all around the field, all over him. And it's just kind of this magical moment for this kid. Like, I'm drinking this in. I want to make sure I remember what this feels like. So it was cool. It's cool to see.
Yeah, apparently when he walked off the field, he just looked at whoever was, taking the video photo, whatever it was, and said that he loved this place. This was his home.
Wow.
It was very sweet. It was interesting to see somebody just enjoy it that much, and I kind of sometimes I feel like that's the MLS. I mean, there are people who are making a lot of money, but there are people
there are others who aren't.
Others who aren't and who are there because they do love playing.
Yeah.
I mean, are they making a lot for playing a game? Yes, I suppose they are. But I think there's still a little bit of that. Oh gosh, purity is not what I want to say, but yeah. So I think there's a little bit of that left in MLS.
It was nice to see it. It was definitely nice to see it.
And just to have that maturity to be in that moment, just to soak it in. It's because I don't know who sent me the link for that shot when he's just standing out in the middle of the field. It's the empty stadium and it's just raining and he's just standing there soaking it in. I almost thought, like, is this guy at the end of his career? And like, I just want to take it in. It's like, no, he's at the beginning of his career and he's taking it all in. Which is just really cool to see. So,
it's the Crew become, I think, the second or third team to win more than 2 MLS Cups now.
Wow.
I think it's DC and Galaxy that have more than 2.
Wow.
And now the Crew this was their third.
Yeah. Good for them.
One last sweet story. Christian Ramirez, for the Crew, 2 games before the final, his wife was in labor during the match. In the next one, he wore his hospital bracelet for good luck. Apparently it worked. And then at the final, his newborn son, Cash, was there, and they were able to get a family picture with his 2 older daughters and Cash actually sitting inside the cup because he's so small.
Did I hear a quote from him saying that it would be my son, the MLS Cup final will be my son's first MLS Cup game? I think he said
I don't know,
like that.
It's accurate.
That's awesome, though. They got a picture of him in the cup.
Yep.
I think there's a German saying, right? It translates to it. It's like a bucket on your butt or something like that.
I don't know that one.
All right. Well, that's the MLS Cup final. Congratulations to Columbus. Thank you for not letting LAFC win another.
That's right.
Thank you, Columbus.
That's right.
As far as the Union, not a whole lot of information coming out. We're definitely in that silly season between games and when the transfer window will open. But they did sign a new defender. Some Isaiah LaFleur. He's on a 1-year contract with options for up to 3 more years. And I guess they signed him from Houston Dynamo.
Yeah, Dynamo 2, I believe.
Okay. All right. So we'll see what if he turns out to be somebody worth keeping around. It sounds like they've got some options if they do want to keep him. They're certainly going to need support and players next year, as we've talked about, and the Union's news has brought it up that they're going to be missing players for Gold Cup, for the Olympics, for Africa's Cup, and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're going to need players they're going to test their depth next year for sure. But as far as other moves, I mean, I haven't heard of any others. Certainly haven't heard any developments regarding Ali or Kai. I'm assuming conversations are still going on, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know if no news is good news.
So the transfer window will open up in January, which is, just a couple of weeks away. But crazy thing is that the Union's preseason is 4 weeks away.
That's insane. That's insane. Paul, what did you say earlier about the baseball season? Or
the MLS season started before the MLB season and ended after the MLB season. So while they didn't play as many games as the Major League Baseball teams, they played longer through the calendar year.
That's just And I can't see it getting shorter.
Nope.
Yeah.
Especially since apparently CONCACAF's Champion Cup starts in February, and the Union will be playing against one of the Saprissa teams in Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So
they're gonna have to get ready with the preseason, and then start playing. And I don't remember exactly. I don't remember if they said when the Union's game against Saprissa will be. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
The other thing I'm wondering
it just
too
says they're slated to face off in February.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking up the Union's schedule for next season, and there's really not much posted.
So yeah, they probably still haven't settled on where that game is gonna be, and when it, therefore when it will be. Who else is on in that first round of games, and what the structure of everything is going to be. So we'll stay tuned and keep an eye out to see what the club's doing and what their game schedule is going to look like. So that's pretty much it from the MLS action and Union stuff. We don't have a whole lot of news, but right now, looking back over the season, one of the questions that we keep kind of coming back to is, what's your favorite or your most memorable moment from the season? I don't know if either of you want to start. I can certainly throw out, one of the memories I have from the games that I'm going to remember for a while.
One of the first things that came to mind for me was Martinez's first goal.
Yes, that was a beautiful goal.
It was a beautiful goal, and for it to be his first MLS goal was wild, just absolutely wild. So.
Who were they playing in? Was that at home?
No, it was Orlando, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You're right.
25, 30 yards out, a yard or so up off the ground, and just curls into the net. It was an amazing shot.
An absolute glassness. Maybe just a little bit lower.
And just the look on Martinez's face when he did it, it was just, and that was the other one too with Ura. Like when that goal went in, Ura just had that Home Alone, like grabbing his head, like, what did I just see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, he looked so happy and excited, and meaning Martinez, and Ali just absolutely chased him down and tackled him.
I thought it was Bedoya who was the first to celebrate with him.
Yeah, I think it was he was, but and just it was funny. You could see I think that's when I really started to appreciate his position on the team as, just like a beloved among his peers, not for the goal, but for who he is, and for what he does.
So I think for me, my most memorable moment was going to that Red Bull game in the Sons of Ben section with Nate for the what was that, the whatever the League's Cup was, and that moment when Nate and I are bouncing and cheering with the crowd, and he looks up at me and goes, "Yeah, I think I could. I wish I could remember what exactly he said, but it was something along the lines of, yeah, I think I like the Sons of Ben section,' or something like that." And just the way. I mean, it was a beautiful weather night. The crowd was into it. The Union were beating on New York, and then just Nate just having that wonderful moment with the other fans there, and just really, really enjoying it. I think that's probably my most memorable moment from this season. Was that?
I was wondering if you were gonna.
Yeah, that's a good one. And you guys are picking all really good ones.
Do you remember when that thing happened? That was awesome.
That was awesome. We walked out with the banner last year. It wasn't this year that we did that.
No, that was the end of the previous season.
That was cool though. That opportunity is neat. I actually remember Martinez's second goal too, because it was at home, and I remember it because I think it was Sullivan who took the ball down the right side, or raced into the box. And Martinez, like I caught him. I saw him running, and I saw him trailing behind Ora. And I remember, I think I was at the game with Nate, and I said, "Nate, look at Martinez." And with that Sullivan just plays a ball across the box to Martinez, who side volleys it into the net. It wasn't a difficult finish for him, especially after his, cannon of a shot the week or two before. But it was a great run and a wonderful cross from Sullivan or whoever that was to find Martinez, and it was really nice to see that one. Any good stops from Blake stick out in any of your mind?
I'll be honest. I fear I take him for granted that there's so many that it's
Saves by Dre is not just a hashtag. It's kind of you're right. I kind of feel bad, but
we'll miss it whenever the day comes that he isn't in that for sure. But then we'll remember things.
He
would have stopped that one. Yeah, years and years from now. Luckily, longer shelf life. Hopefully, he feels like staying.
But we did get a bit of a taste of that earlier this season when he was out for injury for that while, and
yes,
it definitely missed him back there. That's the problem with Blake, though. A lot of the times he makes those stupendous saves, but makes them look routine.
That's right.
So you don't remember that you should that not only a small percentage of goalkeepers in the world could make those stops.
Right. Yeah. You forget to be odd anymore.
Yeah. You get spoiled. Did we stall long enough for you, E?
Yeah, right. I'm just going blank on this. I cannot. It's like movie rental syndrome. I can't think of a single thing.
Well, it doesn't have to be the most memorable. Any moment from the season stick out to you?
I did like the. This is pretty petty or little, but I did like the whole. I think where the Union were either playing New York City or the Red Bulls, and they do their impersonations of "Forget About It," and. And they had all the players as they were coming onto the practice field to give them their forget about it. And
in the socials,
the socials. Like I remember Bedoya's was pretty good. I know Carranza tried it, but I think it was it when Martinez came out, he didn't understand it, and Carranza's trying to explain it to him in Spanish.
Right.
Those were pretty entertaining.
It's
I'm
hard
gonna go
to
with
look
that.
back now and think of individual plays and things like that. So
I'll throw out one more.
Yeah,
go for it.
Crew game at Philadelphia. Torres takes the field, and the first touch he does that spin move to beat the one defender. Dribbles it up the field, does a spin move to beat a second defender, and then lays off a beautiful 30-yard pass to Carranza, where Carranza finishes it with his first touch. That really got me excited about what we were going to see from Torres. Of course, the rest of the season didn't work out so well, but briefly there, it looked like we had a new El Seno in town. And as a coach who works with young kids, trying to get them to learn how to do that spin turn is not easy. And seeing somebody do it as effectively as Torres did against, world-class defenders was really exciting.
Yeah, I think both of our draws dropped when we saw that. We were like, well, hot damn.
Yeah, right.
But, and it didn't kind of, as you say, it didn't quite pan out for one reason or another. Didn't play as often as I would have. Not yet. Right. But I'm not saying, So.
But it was fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Definitely
sorry, go ahead, Paul.
I said definitely memorable.
Yeah. I will say too, I've enjoyed watching McGlynn this season. Actually, all the young guys, they really kind of, they made their mark on the field. They still have room to grow and things to learn and to keep getting better. But I definitely, it wasn't just a single player like an Aronson that we were watching. It was McGlynn, there was Donovan, there was Sullivan, right? The Boondock Saints, right? Harriel too, right?
Harriel.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed watching them, and I think it's a testament to our academy program. I think it's a testament to the strategy of kind of a grassroots way of building our team. Either developing players to trade away to get money to bring in other players. So I feel like in years past it was like one or maybe two young players. This year I feel like we had a bumper crop of young players that were really impressing on the field.
Yeah, none of them jumped out quite as rapidly as Brendan did,
No.
but I'm okay with that. Let them have
Mhm.
some couple of years here in Philly to really, solidify their skills and really develop would be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would also say, on the other side of that, when we lost, when Bedoya was out for that stretch,
Hmm.
like you saw how effective he is in that midfield diamond.
Hmm.
When the Union really struggled to generate some pressure that seemed
Yeah.
to be coming naturally while he was on the field, and suddenly, like when Blake was injured, you realize, oh yeah, we forgot
Yeah.
how much impact that player has. He does not always
Yeah.
the super flashiest, but Bedoya, that was kind of surprising to me to see how important he is there in the midfield.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the socials. I think it was must have been around Father's Day when somebody their question of the day was, who's the dad of the team? And almost everybody said Allie.
Oh.
So,
I mean,
it's a
whenever you're
joke.
named captain, I think that kind of falls to you too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, he has the personality for it too. I mean, if you've
Hmm.
heard any of his run through a wall pregame speeches,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if I ever win $1 million or $1 billion and start my own company, I'm gonna hire Allie just to come in every morning just to give the pep talk to all the workers and everyone before they go, start their day. It's like, yeah, profits have gone up, 58%.
So, I understand you may have prepared a special treat for tonight.
All right. So just a little special treat for us to celebrate the end of our first season with our podcast and just
And
yeah.
for our listeners, Christy and I have no idea what E has prepared here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put together a little something just as a little like, hey guys. And by the way, this is also a little bit of a surprise for me too. So this is just like our kind of a group, well done, Christmas party kind of, hey, that's good year. Let's go for it. Let's see how the next year goes. We talked about, jokingly, half jokingly, I guess, about interviewing people. Maybe something will pan out next time. But for now, here's a little treat for all of us. Make sure I share my sound. Okay. So this is a little something for all of us.
Hey, what's happening? This video goes out to Paul, Christy, and Eric.
No way!
Here,
What?
actually coming to you guys live from Columbus. Obviously, I wish our club was here. The Union were playing in the final, but I was out here and witnessed Columbus lift the trophy. But look, I want to give you guys a shout out during this holiday season. Congratulations on the first year of your new podcast, amorephillyunion. I believe I got that name right. Really appreciate your support, the coverage of the team. We need more folks like yourself. We appreciate that. I'm sure it's a labor of love, and really appreciate you guys' support. And I'm sure it's gone great. I've got to listen to it and see if maybe I agree with the things you're saying. But no, I think that shows your passion, your love for the game, and obviously for the club, the team, your local team. So we all appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing you guys. Hopefully, we'll see what happens, but hopefully, next season and beyond, at Subaru Park. So congratulations to all of you guys on your first season of your podcast. It's a great achievement, and keep doing your thing. All right. I wish you all the best in season 2, season 3, season 4, many more of those to come, many more episodes, and enjoy the holiday season and Happy New Year. All right. All the best, guys.
Whoa.
Dude, that was awesome.
I'm not
Oh my
kidding.
God.
Oh my God.
Let's watch that again. Not right now, but oh my God. So you got that from a cameo?
Yeah, it's the end of the season. I was trying to, honestly, I don't remember how I even came up with this idea. It just like bubbled up. I'm like, I wonder if there's anyone from the Union that's on Cameo just to see, and Allie was up there. I'm like, it's a no brainer. I gotta
Oh my God,
throw out
that's awesome.
yeah. So
I
hey,
am unwell. I mean,
Wow. I was
holy
like,
crow.
I was like almost like holding my breath there. I was trying not to talk while listening to that. That's amazing.
I'll send you guys a copy of this, but
I have no idea what that cost, but that totally was awesome. That was worth it.
Oh
That was
my
100% worth
God.
it. Ali, I don't know if you end up listening to this podcast or not, but thank you.
Yeah.
That's oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's such a great present.
I'm sitting here with my mouth hanging open. I always wonder, I sometimes go on Cameo just for fun to see who's on there. And I always think, I don't know, I don't know what getting one of these would be like. If it would be, no, it works. I'm seriously crying right now.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's whether or not Ali does listen to one of our episodes, I hope he does. But hey, Ali Bedoya, just thanks for thanks for being on our team. And
Oh my
if you
God.
listen to our podcast, great. And if not, that's also that's cool too.
I'm glad I'm already in bed because I'm gonna need to lie down.
That was awesome. That was
Yeah.
beyond a special treat. That's insane.
Holy
That's
crow.
amazing. Definitely send that out.
I
Oh,
will.
Please make sure they play that at my
watch
funeral.
it. What's that?
Please make sure they play that at my funeral. That's on the funeral list, see? Just in case.
Yeah.
wow.
Wow, that was so cool. That was so cool. Like
Holy crow.
I didn't watch it. I purposely
But
just
you
held
hadn't
on.
watched it either.
I hadn't watched it either.
So
Oh my
when you
God.
ordered, when you put it in there, like what do you request? That he says hello to a certain people and what you want him to recognize.
Yeah, when you use Cameo, it's like who's it from, who's it to, that kind of stuff, and then just kind of you give them those
some
talking
points.
talking points. But to be fair,
very little. You can't give much because we bought one for someone else, and
Yeah.
we had a whole thing written up, and then I tried to put it in, and it was like I had to cut it down to like 100 characters or something. I mean, not that little, but you don't have much room. So
yeah, I will be honest. There was an option to pay extra to be able to write more, and I did pay extra to write a little bit more just to kind of give them more details about what we're doing. But I just basically, Ali did a good job like talking about it, but to his credit, like he really just organically filled in all that stuff,
really
and I'm actually shaking a little bit. That was pretty awesome.
Same.
So I really appreciate.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if we get him on the podcast, can we say it's return?
A return guest.
Return guest.
I was even thinking, like, how do I mention this in the copy for the episode? Like, it's not like we interviewed him, or it's not like he actually was a guest, but maybe like a special message.
Word from the captain.
Yeah, special message from Captain Ali Bedoya. So, but anyway, Ali Bedoya, thank you very much. I think you've made all of our Christmas and New Year's and
all of our candle nights for sure.
All our candle nights,
wow.
Exactly.
Thank you, and thanks E for organizing.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's a great way to, I know we're talking about this is like the end of our season for the podcast. And I think that's a wonderful topper for what was a very fun season with the Union.
Yeah.
And as far as the podcast goes, I think that's a high note to end with. So well done, sir. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was awesome. So yeah, good point, Paul. I think anything we do after this is got to be kind of like,
yeah.
But talking about the podcast, I mean, were there any last thoughts about the year as a podcast for you guys that you wanted to share with the listeners?
Christy, do you have anything? Or
no, I don't think I have anything else. I'm just really grateful that we've done this, and it kind of made the year in some ways. I mean, there are sometimes that you're tired and don't necessarily feel like recording, and then all of a sudden.
Or you're in Dallas or wherever that was that you were in.
Yeah, Dallas, Minnesota.
The unholy land.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, but at least you still managed to find a place to call in for a brief appearance in that episode. So thank
you. Looking at AT&T Stadium while I was doing that out the window. But yeah, no. So It's been great, and
But I'm also looking forward to what we'll do, in the future.
Yeah.
This has been fun, this version of it, and we've had some ideas on what we could do to change, not change it up, but to add to it.
Yeah.
It's like once you learn how to grill a steak, then you can start thinking about, well, what other seasonings could I use besides salt and pepper? And we'll see if there aren't some options out there that we could do. Maybe some smoke in the fire as we're grilling it or something. I don't know. We'll come up with something to try to make it interesting. But I'm also would like to see what we can do as far as contests or try to involve our listeners, which would be fun.
Yeah, get more engaged with the larger community.
That also would be awesome.
Yeah. And plus also, we have to go at least 2-3 more seasons because Ali said, so now we have to keep going. So
that's right. Ali told us.
It's funny, like having edited all 41, soon to be 42 episodes. It is funny just listening to how we talk. But what's funny, one of the things that popped up is like, well, first of all, thank you to our listeners for riding this or going on this ride with us. It's been, a learning experience for us. Hopefully it was fairly entertaining for you guys. But it's funny, like editing, just listening to us talk. It's so introspective. Like it is like a mirror. But one of the things is like, you guys are funny. Like as I'm listening, like, cause I'm making notes. Not that you guys aren't funny. I just didn't realize how funny you guys are, now obviously I'm biased. Some people, well, they're wrong if they disagree. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. But I find myself laughing a lot to myself, at least when I'm editing. I'm like, oh my God, that's such a good line. Or like the delivery on that one was fantastic, just and like pretty much so many of the intros, right? The little hook at the beginning. It's like, it basically boiled down between a competition between Paul and Christy, like who's gonna out goof the other one.
That's just because you're editing it and you don't think yourself as you're as funny as the two of us.
Yeah,
you have your own set of lines, and those. It is fun to listen to it. I've listened to every podcast episode that we've put out, and what I find myself doing is like, oh, I wish I had thought to say this, and then 30 seconds later I end up saying it. I'm like, I did think.
Well, the other thing I want to do is I want to apologize to you guys because again, as I'm editing this, like Paul, you might say something that was such an opening and probably even deliberate. Like, hey guys, I'm throwing out this little tidbit. What do you think? And I'm just like, yeah. Anyway, and it's like, dude, like Paul just threw out this great thing. Like, and when my memory, like I don't remember it, but as I'm listening to the recording as I'm editing, I'm like, Eric, what are you doing? You just totally like missed that nice little nugget Paul just threw out. Like, not only did I miss it, Paul's probably like, I just threw out a nugget and no one's responding. What's going on?
That's one to grow on.
And that's one to grow on.
So definitely has been interesting first season here as a podcast as we get our feet under us and we're trying to figure out everything and where we might want to go. And, but it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And like we said, this is the end of our season. We are going to take a bit of a break. We'll be back recording sometime in mid-January. So definitely stay subscribed so you can keep updated. And if you follow us on social media, or if you don't yet follow us on social media, please do. I'm sure there will be a number of posts, while we're away, just wishing you happy holidays, happy New Year, etc. And giving you some outline on when we're going to return. But it should look for us not when the clock tolls 1, but rather when some point in the first couple of weeks of January.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird not doing an episode like next week and all that. It's gonna be like, wow, it's gonna feel weird.
Well, we're not really going to have anything to talk about, and it is the holiday season. So we figure now's a good time to step away, recharge the batteries a bit, and maybe make some plans, and send some emails around, get some possibilities brewing for the new season.
Yeah, like I said, we do have some ideas, some small, some maybe not so small. We'll see. We'll work on them, during the break, and we'll see what we come back with in a couple of weeks.
So anything else from either of you? Any other cameos you want to throw out here?
Oh, I brought Jim Curtin in. Hey, Jim, you want to come here real quick?
I'm just going to faint right now. All right. So as always, you can find us at our website, amorephillyunion.com. Feel free to shoot us an email at pod@amorephillyunion.com, and we'll be happy to respond. You can also catch us at X or Twitter at amorephillyu. On Instagram, YouTube, and Threads, we are a More Philly Union. Just a reminder, we do have our eclectic Spotify playlist under a More Philly Union, so please tune in. I'm not sure what we'll be adding to it this week. We talked about the Philly special stuff last week. I don't know if any of that was available or not on Spotify, but maybe we'll find some, get some Linus and Lucy up there or something like that. We'll see. You can also make sure you find our podcast wherever you get yours: Apple, Spotify, Amazon, whatever you use, or just listen to it from the Podbean app. That's an option as well. Well, that's the end of the episode. This season is a wrap. We'll see you in the new year after a long winter's nap.
So wherever you are and however you celebrate, we hope that your holidays are joyous and great.
With one last sign off for the calendar year, a big thanks to all for just being here.
We are your hosts, as we say again in unison.
I'm E.
I'm C.
And I'm Paul. And to all, go Union!
That response.
Oh my God, that was so amazing, E.
I was like, he's got to be kidding. This has to be for somebody else. This is some kind of a video that he found Ali was talking to somebody and gave an inspirational speech. This is not, when he said our names, I was like, I'm done. That's it.
Play it again. Play it again.
You want to play it again? You want to play it again?